Paul Tracy closes up on Patrick Carpentier.
Look at this right there. Paul's going to have a run on him. He doesn't have a fuel problem.
234 laps in the book. 2 laps to go as Tracy goes into the lead.
Patrick did not want to give that up.
Now Tracy has the lead, and Carpentier is going to have to watch out for Zanardi rushing up from behind, but Paul Tracy makes his bid for his 3rd consecutive victory, and he pulls away from Patrick Carpentier with the white flag in the hands of Jim Swintal. It waves. Carpentier is stuck, Zanardi stuck behind slower traffic. Last lap for Paul Tracy. There is Patrick Carpentier.
Can he make it? He's still got that fuel situation. He's definitely conserving it now because Zanardi has dropped back. What a finish.
Off of turn 4 at Gateway, Paul Tracy comes to the line for his 13th career win, 3rd in a row. He goes into the record books as winner of the inaugural Motorola 300. Al Unser Jr. on the left, Roger Penske on the right. What a day.
Oh man, look at this. Look at this as Castro Neves pokes his nose right in there and stays. So Castro Neves, if there was an argument about Franchitti, it's over now. And now Castro Neves taking a look at P.J. Jones. That battle is for 4th. Andretti, Moreno, Max Pappas. 1, 2, 3.
This is the Saturday night main event. This is the sprint, Paul.
Castro Neves makes a move on P.J. Jones, and he gets him. Boy, Castro Neves is flying.
He liked the view before the round of pit stops, Paul, and I think he wants to get it back. He is driving an incredible race. He is just diving in without any consequence, saving it somewhere in between and driving it off the corner.
Franchitti gets high as he makes a try on P.J. Jones. Moore is right there. Now Tony Kanaan closes in. This is a battle for 5th place. Look at Moore. Up high, loses a little momentum. They come off at turn 4, down the front stretch. A second out in front, it's Michael Andretti, then Roberto Moreno, then Max Pappas. And then this battle. Castro Neves, now you see him. He closes in on Max Pappas. Laps toward the end, beginning to roll off now. Michael Andretti, Roberto Moreno, that's the red and blue car, subbing for Mark Blundell, sits in 2nd place. Castro Neves works on Max Pappas.
And Paul, right now, the drivers have the cars balanced exactly the way they want to, right on the razor's edge. Fuel is not a concern. They're at full power, full revs. The only people that are nervous are the data acquisition techs down in the pits, because they're the ones who calculated how long to leave the fuel nozzles in to get just enough fuel in to get to the checkered flag. They didn't need a fuel load. They only need enough to get to lap 236.
Castro Neves tries it on Max Pappas. He is passed. Castro Neves moves to 3rd.
Helio Castroneves is now 2 to 3/10 of a second quicker than anybody else on the racetrack, Paul. And he's closing down that gap to Michael. Just a few laps ago, it was 2.5 seconds. Now it's just 1.7 seconds. He's obviously quicker than Moreno. If he gets by, then he'll hunt down Michael.
Castro Neves tucks in, picks up the tow from Moreno, moves to the inside. Boy, that looked very, very easy. This kid is fast. And look at how the lead is narrowed down. Castro Neves is now 4/10, well, closer than that, behind Michael Andretti. He's right there. He's in the tow. John Kernan.
Michael Andretti just asked his crew on the radio, is Helio going to have to pit? They've told Michael, no, you two are racing for position to the end. Do the best you can. Keep it on slot 4. But Michael was thinking that possibly Helio would have to pit and he could let him go by. But now look for Andretti to make it a lot tougher for Castro Neves to pass him.
Castro Neves, new to the series. Michael Andretti, one of the great veterans of the series. What an interesting battle this will be.
Catching Michael's one thing, Paul. Passing him is something else. That's probably the news Michael didn't want to hear. But you can see how the interval has dropped over just the last handful of laps. Castro Neves now trying to figure out a way, now that he's caught the leader, How do I use my advantage to get around him? And Michael obviously has now also picked up the pace. They're both running identical lap times. And remember, Michael just a number of years ago at Phoenix thought he had the lead, thought he had the race win, and didn't realize that the pass at the very end was for the race win. He's never going to let that happen again. Helio Castroneves has got his work cut out from a very determined Michael Andretti.
Michael Andretti with 236 starts. Castroneves with 25. Ariel just closes in another second. With 8 laps to go, he's going to be very definitely part of this battle at the front, and there is traffic that now lies ahead. This is going to make a world of difference. The first person they'll encounter is Scott Pruitt, and then Richie Hearn is just ahead of Scott.
And you can see there, Castroneves a little higher, Dario even higher, looking for clean air. Traffic is going to be the break they're looking for.
Scott Pruitt shows Michael the outside. Castroneves closes, Franchitti closes more.
And that's
Michael Andretti from time to time, just watch us, looks back and forth to his mirrors.
And Paul, that was the first lap that Dario actually went a little slower than Castroneves.
Michael got around Pruitt, but Castroneves did not. Now he comes out, back in contact. Franchitti follows him. That cost Castroneves.
Good bit of professionalism by Paul Tracy, though. Paul, he just stayed to the outside, breathed the throttle a little bit to let both of them slip through there. But still, the damage was done.
By Scott Pruitt.
Absolutely.
Michael comes low under Richie Hearn. Castroneves uses Hearn for a tow. Franchitti's caught behind Hearn. 5 to go. Franchitti now clears Hearn. First, second, and third are back together.
Dario Franchitti 0.4 of a second quicker that lap than Castroneves.
Once again, traffic is the issue. Shigeaki Hattori. First Andretti is by, then Castroneves is by. Again, Franchitti gets caught. It'll be Al Unser Jr. that sits just ahead of the leaders now. Castroneves is there. He gets a tow, tries, darts out, doesn't do it. Now remember how long Al Unser Jr. and Michael Andretti have been racing together. The two seniors of this sport. Literally thousands of miles chasing one another.
You can see Al looking to the left, checking his mirrors there, Paul. He definitely doesn't want to get in the middle of this.
Lap and a half to go now. Michael Andretti with Al Unser Jr. just ahead, Castroneves. Now is going to be decision time. White flag comes out for Michael Andretti. 1 to go. And Michael Andretti gets around little Al. Castroneves does too. Al lets all 3 of them pass. Top 3 are still in contact onto the backstretch. Michael Andretti could well be on his way to a win. One more corner, and it doesn't look like Castroneves is going to have what it takes. There is still some traffic ahead. They come off of the corner. Michael Andretti roars toward the finish line, and Michael Andretti takes his 38th victory. It's been 24 races since Michael's last win. Newman Haas takes the win. Helio Castroneves with a brilliant second, and Dario Franchitti in third. With 8 to go at Gateway International Raceway, Helio Castroneves is doing it the old-fashioned way, shifting by ear. He has no information on his dash at all. The team doesn't have any telemetry, and yet he's out in front running for the finish. They hope they've saved enough fuel. The Penske team believes they have, but when you look at the lineup there behind him, Tony Kanaan, his own teammate Gilles de Ferran, Thomas Scheckter, Weldon, they all have a shot at taking the lead of this race within the next 7 laps. Tension level is coming up. And what do they say? It's not over till it's over.
Well, you know, we talked about transmissions here today because there's been a lot of failures actually. But right now he's trying to treat everything as smoothly as possible. It's interesting, Paul. He's aboard a Dallara right now. We always talk about the engines. Toyota and Honda are actually 1-2, but if he wins today, it will break the tie between Dallara and G-Force with 5 wins each so far this year and give Dallara their 6th win, which is always a big thing for the manufacturers.
And if he does win, clear the fences. But that is hardly an accomplished fact at this moment. You just heard Tim Cindric give the 5 to go information to Castroneves.
Now, as a driver, you're sitting in there just looking ahead, seeing if you have to deal with any traffic up ahead. You hope that your team is working with the spotters of the other cars if there is any traffic. You're trying to hit your points perfectly. You're trying to be smooth.
Looking at the interval in the upper left there. And it remains unchanged back to Tony Kanaan. But there are slower traffic ahead.
Paul, 7 different winners in 10 races so far this year, and amazingly, as you mentioned before, Castroneves has not won in such a long time. That'll make the 8th, but he's always just been so competitive, and maybe it's his charisma that sort of makes you feel like he's winning all the time right there.
Oh, Castroneves has a full line. You see them getting the flag ahead of him that he's got to maneuver around. He's around Buddy Lazier. Buddy Rice is next in line. Kanaan comes up on Lazier. If he paces this right, he'll have a nice inside pass going into turn 3 and stay in touch with Castroneves. Now Castroneves with Buddy Rice ahead of him. And Kanaan closes in by 0.6 of a second.
You said before, Paul, getting close is one thing, getting past, it's going to be a whole different deal.
Yeah, car can become wide, can it? Should see white flag next time around. There it is, 1 lap to go. Castroneves looking to break the slump. Can Tony Kanaan close in this lap? Castroneves looking for his 4th career win. And now he can almost roll to that finish. Kanaan can't do it. He can't catch him. Castroneves breaks the slump, takes the win.
Way to go, guys. Come on.
And celebrating Castroneves moves to 3rd in the IRL standings.
Go.
Tony Kanaan takes the points lead. Castroneves is 10 points back. So Helio Castroneves takes the win.
And Helio Castroneves, you have won. The slump is over. He climbs the fence. The tradition continues. 4 career victories for the man from Brazil. 13 months without a win since the 2002 Indianapolis 500. And that is now yesterday's news. Helio. Let's talk for a moment. No telemetry, and yet you got it done. How concerned were you?
It's like a flying airplane, man, without any instrument. Just by radios, you know, and oh my God, the team did a phenomenal job. Woo! Yeah, we did it! Woo!
After 14 years, INDYCAR is back in St. Louis. Time to get it going for the last oval of the season, and here we go from Gateway.
Guys right down on the wall. Dixon was trying to slide down the wall. Newgard goes for the lead. No, Will Power.
Power goes around, one of the championship contenders, and then up on his lid over the top is Ed Carpenter. Takuma Sato has also crashed. Back to green flag racing at Gateway Motorsports Park, and look at the run for Castroneves, trying to go around the outside, can't get Newgarden in turn 1.
No guarantee that anybody has more tire temperature now, Paul, after all those yellow laps, but luckily they make it through 1 and 2. That was critical for the field to not lose it on the restart.
Yes, 3 wide going into turn 3. Rossi slides down the inside of Hinchcliffe, but Helio Castroneves was aggressive on that restart, had a nice little start. He was forced to the outside by Newgarden, but Newgarden now has taken control, leads by half a second.
Penske's coming in 1, 2, 3.
And
Newgarden is the championship leader.
You see him racing on the apron. Newgarden got after it behind the pace car. Look at the gap he put on Simon Pagenaud. That could pay off. Big lockup.
And Helio Castroneves feels like he's got a winning car. He just wants his track position back. Forgot to release the neutral button on the last stop. He's not going to make that mistake again. Katie?
Tim Cindric just motioned to the team in front of Joseph to make sure that Joseph has a clean out, because this has to be a clean stop for him. He's already down and away, Jan.
And this could be a championship pit stop for all 3 Penske cars. We see the other 2 are rolling. Are they going to beat out Simon Pagenaud? And maybe not. Looks like Simon Pagenaud might have it.
So close, Pagenaud just barely in front of Joseph Newgarden. Scott Dixon gets a spot up to 3rd. Then it's Helio Castroneves in 4th.
He's got to run.
Pagenaud will try to defend on the low line.
Whoa! Whoa, he's stuffing it in. Oh my God! Pagenaud way up high.
The 2 Penske drivers touch, and Joseph Newgarden goes back to the front to the inside of Simon Pagenaud.
And look at Dixon. Dixon's going to take over 2nd now.
What a swing potentially in the championship. Pagenaud in front has dropped to 3rd. Dixon is now in 2nd behind Newgarden.
I talked about it before the race. There's been a lot of strategic Penske driving. When are the gloves going to come off? It's happening tonight. This is fight night.
Apropos, fight night at Gateway, and Joseph Newgarden has carved his way back to the front.
Townsend, you said it was going to be a 1 through 4 Penske domination.
Well, let's see what happens, but right there, it's one Penske dominating on a move like that. Joseph Newgarden is just signaling to not only his teammates, but the rest of the field, this is my championship. Forget about it. I'm grabbing the bull by the horn.
Coming towards the white flag. 1 lap to go for Joseph Newgarden. Dixon is not within range, but looks like he might be able to hold on to 2nd. Pagenaud is several car lengths back. Castroneves in 4th position, and Daly looking for his best career result on an oval. Joseph Newgarden is going to win for the 4th time in 2017. The next American superstar takes control of the championship. Joseph Newgarden isn't going to climb the fence, but he will hop on top of the wall and celebrate Team Penske's 5th straight win. The last time that happened for a team in IndyCar racing, Newman Haas in 2005 in Kart Champ Car. On the outside, Will Power going for the lead, side by side with Scott Dixon.
He ran high, way out in the gray. He tried to go too wide and ran wide. Rossi takes advantage. Rossi might get a run now on Dixon.
Over 100 laps of green flag running, there's going to be dust and marbles on that high line, and Power just figured that out. Challenge down the front straightaway, but great defensive move from Dixon.
Look at this traffic right here, right behind Scott Dixon. Here comes Power working his way around Graham Rahal, trying to stay on the tail of Dixon.
He's on the move. He's flying right now. He almost got both of those guys.
Well, both of those guys were 4 laps shy of where they needed to get to make it on one more stop, so I think they've realized that, turned up the fuel knob, and they're going for it now. Here comes Power again.
Big run.
To the inside, Will Power looking for the lead, and he's got it. Will Power takes the point from Scott Dixon.
Now we got some racing going on. Tires are going away. Guys are making moves in traffic.
This will be a time stop. That's it. Go. 4.2 seconds. And let's watch carefully where he merges. Look for Rossi.
So Rossi should be well ahead of Power. There goes Rossi. And now Power has 16 laps at full fuel. I think he's going to have a great chance to get Rossi.
Well, it'll be no problem. He's got full fuel. He can run wide open. Rossi's got to keep backing it down. So he came out right behind him.
And Rossi is stuck in this strategy now for the championship. He has to hang on just to try to score the most points that he can, but Power is surely going to catch him.
Rossi's concern is really not Will Power. It's where is Dixon going to come out? When will he pit, and how long will he pit, and where will he come out when they cycle around?
And if you're Dixon, Pagano, Veach, you are hoping for a yellow right now.
And is anyone else on Super Save that can try to make it? Scott Dixon with Simon Pagano running second. Behind him, Zach Veach is third. Spencer Piggott fourth, and Joseph Newgarden is fifth. This is Will Power's race as he works his way through traffic. Barring a mistake, there's not a scenario where it gets out of his hands. Rossi is trying to make it on one less stop, but Power is already in front and has no fuel concerns.
But maybe Rossi saved it just enough fuel to be able to turn it up in the last 2 laps. We'll hear maybe from Rob Edwards, coaching Rossi on how good of a job. Maybe he's done too good of a job and he's got money in the bank to burn here now.
Well, he goes by Ray Hall, who's been off the pace for quite a while, so now he's got a nice buffer to Dixon. I think this is a case scenario where he's going to ride it home and not worry about Power. See all the cars in between him and Rossi. Six laps to go, a lot of cars. He whistles by Andretti.
Look at that, Alexander Rossi still has a shot here, 1.9 seconds, 5 laps to go. We'll be watching that gap and the gap, which is another 2.1 seconds back to Dixon.
His only chance is if Will Power really gets caught up in traffic.
488 or better, P2, 4 laps to go.
And there is traffic in front of Will Power as Scott Dixon moves past Matthias Lace.
Tell you what, Dixon is now closing fast. He's only got one car with Ray Hall in front of him, and Ray Hall's off the pace. He might catch Rossi.
Really strong, impressive runs tonight. Zach Veach running in 5th, Spencer Piggott in 6th, Ed Jones in 8th, Takuma Sato 9th right now.
Big run by Dixon. He's going to go right by Graham Rahal in the next car in line is Rossi with 3 to go. He's chasing him down, Townsend.
And I wonder, is Rossi still having to save, or does he have a shot to catch up to Will Power, who's now caught lap traffic?
He's going to catch him on the last lap at the last corner. Does he have enough to turn it up for a corner as Will Power goes by Sato? 2 to go.
At the moment, Dixon's championship lead would be 26 on Alexander Rossi, so this is a big position right here.
When do you turn him loose, Jan? When do you turn him loose?
I'm standing here trying to overhear the radio. There's a lot of conversation here on Alexander Rossi's stands. Of course, I don't want to interrupt that conversation, but they know that they may have to turn him loose to some degree, but run the risk of not making the line.
Huge move for Rossi to get by Sato. Rossi now should have clean air.
He's going to catch him at the last corner. If he can get by Sato, he might have a run to the line, but I don't think he's going to get it.
1 lap to go as Dixon tries to track down Rossi to pick up championship points and finish second. Will Power trying to keep his championship hopes alive. A splash of fuel is plenty for him. Will Power wins for the 3rd time in 2018 and keeps his championship hopes alive.
Great job, guys.
And Rossi hangs on for second in front of Scott Dixon. Big championship implications there, and we saw 2 different strategies to some degree work out. Rossi and Dixon, opposites. Pagano gets a top 5 and 4th, and what a run for Zach Veach.
You can almost hear the Rossi interview now, like, gosh, Dixon never has a bad day. That's what he's been saying. Well, he keeps trying to make the gap as Roger Penske gets another IndyCar win.
Newgarden with a good start. Bourdais goes with him. Ferrucci on the outside and Power on the inside.
Power forces his way, and is that Sato and Hunter-Reay getting together? Little bit of contact and a big wiggle from Hunter Ray. Great save.
Big start by Rossi. He was down the inside, but his teammate is on the inside of him as they go into 3. Pagenaud slots in behind Dixon.
How forceful was Will Power? Right into turn 1.
Oh!
Spinner.
Saves it. He saved it.
I don't know if he did. Yes.
He did.
Ericsson. Caution is out. Marcus Ericsson in his first race here at Gateway. And
look at all the grass inside the left front wing. He's going to hopefully come to pit lane to clear that off. Watch this. We're on board with Ryan Hunter-Reay. That's Takuma Sato on the left. These are the cars that got together at Pocono in that big accident.
Oh.
They touch. Sato saves it, and of course Rossi was right in the mix just like last week.
He got loose too.
Yeah,
Rossi got loose.
Rossi got way sideways, and that allowed Hunter-Reay to get a run on him. But look at this action on this INDYCAR. Rossi goes down the inside, and then the track opens up for him, and he does a gas it up right here. Look, and contact for Sato and Hunter-Reay.
Set to go back to racing here at Gateway. James Hinchcliffe is the race leader. Here comes Santino Ferrucci up the inside. Not quite close enough. Yes, he is. Straight up the inside of Charlie Kimball.
He needed to make that move early, so now he can just sit on the back of James Hinchcliffe and ride for a little bit. This guy's got moves, Townsend.
He really does, and he also has great maturity. He's patient as Connor Daly sends it into turn 3 and has to get on the brakes, almost loses it again, and Daly's got to run now on Rossi.
Brakes were glowing on Connor Daly's car going into 3. They're 3 wide on the front straightaway.
Colton Herter on the inside of Simon Pagenaud. Rossi on the outside. Alexander Rossi.
Once again, Rossi is fearless on these short ovals. That was close.
I thought Power said you couldn't use the high line. Rossi was way up top. He's still working the top groove.
Keep in mind, during that long yellow, the sweeper trucks were out to clean the line, and here comes Connor Daly for another run.
These guys are best buddies. Hunter-Reay's now in the mix. Will he make it 3 wide?
Ryan Hunter-Reay in his 250th career start in INDYCAR racing. What's tonight got in store for Captain America? There he is in that familiar yellow and red DHL Honda.
That's tight. Oh.
Carpenter tried to go on the inside of Kanaan.
Big block by Kanaan down the back straightaway. Carpenter looked almost in the grass.
Hinchcliffe, Ferrucci. The teammates are 2nd and 3rd. Newgarden, championship leader, is 4th, and then Felix Rosenquist. So, after getting themselves a lap up on the others and then pitting under yellow, Takuma Sato, Tony Kanaan, Ed Carpenter find themselves 1, 2, and 3 ahead of the championship leader, coming back to green with 44 laps left to run in this Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Newgarden pops out of the line. He wants to go on the inside of his old team boss, and here comes Rossi again. Newgarden hangs tough though and says, not this time.
Oh, look at Santino Ferrucci around the outside of Zach Veach. Ferrucci is mad. He wants that lead back.
He's going to make a move on Rossi if he gets down there on the inside. Connor Daly again on the inside with the brakes glowing. Kanaan hanging tough. Look at this group of cars. These guys at the back are on new tires. Marco Andretti and Connor Daly banging wheels on the front straightaway.
Somebody's all over the apex. That's James Hinchcliffe almost getting backwards.
And Pagenaud and Hinchcliffe together again. Wild stuff on this opening lap of the restart. Everyone diving and jostling for position. The Arrow Schmidt-Peterson teammates are together. But it's Takuma Sato who leads Tony Kanaan and Ed Carpenter.
And Sato's checking out.
Checking out. Kanaan there is going to try to hang on to that 2nd place.
Don't forget that Sato qualified 5th, struggled mightily on the opening stint, went all the way to the back, but then kind of hung in there.
Here comes Newgarden, got a run on Carpenter. He looks to the outside. You've got your contender behind you. Don't need to remind you about Mid-Ohio, but he's got the guys he needs behind him, and he's on fresher tires.
Santino Ferrucci running 6th. That's Alexander Rossi just up the road.
He won't be happy with that after leading nearly 100 laps.
Carpenter on Canard.
Oh, Carpenter slides by.
What can Ed Carpenter do with clean air and 4 laps to go? How fast is he going to close on Sato?
Well, he's left Canard behind. Canard may be in danger of missing the podium.
Does Newgarden go for that podium like he did at Mid-Ohio? Is he going to stuff it in on Canard? Here comes Ferrucci with a run coming off the corner. A great exit.
Inside here, Ferrucci.
Oh, it's going to be a late one. It's a late one. He whistles it in.
Connor Daly style. Ferrucci to 4th.
He can get Canard.
Look at Ed Carpenter. Look at how close he is. Ed Carpenter, that lap was half a second quicker than Takuma Sato.
2 laps to go. 2.5 miles will determine this race. And Ed Carpenter is in with a shot of victory. He was last night in final practice. I spoke with his engineer, Peter Craig, today. He said, it wasn't looking good. It sure is looking good now.
He's got a run there. He's got a nice run coming off the corner. Does he go for it? Coming to the white flag.
One to go. 1.25 miles left in this race. Under the lights, the final oval of 2019.
Ferrucci's got a run coming off the turn 2. He's right there. Canaan blocks. He's going to make him go in the gray. Oh, this could be disastrous.
Backs out of it.
Oh, no. He's going to lose it.
Hold on. The checkered flag is waiting. Is it Sato? Is it Carpenter? It's going to be close. It's Takuma Sato.
Oh! Is that
Newgarden? Is that Newgarden?
That's Newgarden.
The championship leader spins.
He's losing points with every pass here. There's Rossi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Rossi beats him to the line.
How in the world did that happen?
That was the most insane race I have ever seen.
Takuma Sato goes from a lap 1 crash at Pocono to victory in the space of a week.
This was Ferrucci. Oh no! Newgarden, this is like Mid-Ohio all over again.
Newgarden shot the gap when Ferrucci got high on that move with Canaan. He tried to shoot the gap, locked it up. He's an anti-stall right here. And then watch all these cars, and then Rossi beats him to the line by inches right here.
Newgarden didn't hit anything. He just couldn't get the car to fire.
Top 2 are in. Pato Award, Scott Dixon. Final stop of the race, or what should be.
And the battle will be on pit stops for sure. Let's see what happens.
So this is very likely going to go a long ways towards determining the race. Pato Award, the 21-year-old Mexican, is going to hit his box first. Scott Dixon has the advantage of being pit out. An easy in for him. Award's Arrow McLaren crew has another really strong stop. Now he's going to race. Can the Chip Ganassi Racing PNC Bank crew beat him? And they will!
He got him.
Ganassi gets out first. Dixon takes over control.
I thought that was an amazing stop by the McLaren team, but Dixon just laid it down on those guys.
That's what 30 years of IndyCar racing will do. Chip Ganassi Racing celebrating its 30th anniversary. There's Chip, and he'll be pumped about that. Disappointed last week not to win the 500. Dixon was frustrated that the race didn't finish under green, but maybe he will make up for it. Well, nothing makes up for not winning the 500, but this will go a long way if he can get another win and extend his championship points lead. He came in here with an 84-point buffer over Joseph Newgarden.
And Sato gives up the lead of the race. Remember, he won this last year, but that's going to be slow on the right rear. So any chance they had to be able to do the overcut by staying out longer and gain track position probably went away there by just losing a teeny bit of time on pit lane.
Here comes Dixon.
Didn't lose a ton of time, but he's still going to cycle out, I think, inside the top 5 or 6. But
I think he might be top 3.
He had a shot there, and maybe even coming out in the lead with the way that stop went. But look, he cycles out in 3rd right now. So without that mistake, he could have grabbed the lead on that.
Absolutely.
So
here we go.
Sato, though, it don't matter.
Whoa! Hold on, both of you.
Are you kidding me? Takuma Sato, that was awesome.
The Indy 500 champ, he wants another win. And he just laid it on the line there to Pato Award.
Paul,
that was back to the wild thing.
We've seen some big moves here at World Wide Technology Raceway. We've never seen this.
Big runoff with turn 4, timed it perfectly. Pato tried to protect the inside. Sato's got the momentum, but turns in, he's still there. Huge save by Pato Award.
Oh,
Sato with a good run.
What a tough situation. You don't want to get too close, but you know you've got this guy, the Indy 500 champ, breathing down your neck. 2.5 miles to go.
He's getting closer. He's reeling him in. This is as close as he's been. He's really got to just set this corner up and get the exit.
And you know that Sato will not be afraid to have a go. White flag coming up.
Oh, boy.
One more lap here in St. Louis. Can Scott Dixon do it for win number 50, or will Sato win in back-to-back weeks and back-to-back years here at World Wide Technology Raceway? It's going to be tough from now.
He just washed up the track a little bit, but he's still right there. Dixon's got dirty air.
Dixon's as close as he's been to dirty air in front. Sato with a run off turn 4.
Scott Dixon is going to be the 11th different winner here from 11 races. Unbelievable finish. Dixon is a 50-time IndyCar winner and gets some semblance of revenge for last weekend in another thriller between Dixon and Sato. Look at Pagenaud, the bright yellow car, going for the inside on his teammate, and he gets it.
Not yet. They almost made contact front wing.
That's not the first time those teammates have had contact, and both times Pagenaud is the one that comes out the worst for it. There goes the front wing. That might bring out a yellow.
Stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out. It's going to go yellow. It'll go yellow, stay out.
He's in the pits. Too late to stay out. Cut across the grass right now and get back on the track.
The call was to stay out because it's going to go yellow, and here is the caution.
Drive through the pits, okay?
And this really won't hurt Pagenaud to drive through here.
Unbelievable.
And everybody comes to pit lane. This is an opportunity to make your stop under yellow, and this effectively commits everybody to a 4-stop race at this point. Coming to you, Kelly.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden pits from the 3rd position. He was worried about that left rear tire after his contact with Pagenaud. Had a little vibration. Seems to have remedied itself, Kev.
And this puts us back into a 4-stop race, takes away fuel saving. That's good for our entertainment. Middle of the screen, you see Colton Herta. He gets into a spot as the leader. Will Power in second on the bottom of the screen. Race on pit road, it's going to be Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, and Colton Herta. So Newgarden's 2-team for Team Penske gets him the track position to take over the lead.
I'll tell you what, there was almost contact between Grosjean and Herta, and then there was contact with Grosjean leaving, getting into the side of, I believe, Connor Daly. So how about that for welcome to short oval racing? It is such a tight pit lane, Paul. We were talking about it in the pre-race. There's just not a lot of room to negotiate under full course caution when the field comes in.
That was super sketchy. So at the line, Newgarden gets there first, but Colton Herta got held up just a little bit coming out of the box. They waved him to go right as Grosjean was coming in, and it was super tight quarter to get out of that pit box, and he lost a couple spots on that.
Yeah.
As Sebastian Bourdais in the Rocket Chevy is going to lead this field to green. Watch the 2nd and 3rd cars, though, the teammates. Is there anything happening there? No, there's not. Here comes Pato Award. Tried to go up the inside of Alexander Rossi. Ericsson around the outside. There's a crash.
Palou out. VK out. Dixon in the wall. This is huge.
2 of the top 3 in the championship are in the wall. There is the championship leader in the blue and white car, Alex Palou.
Could be well.
And this is big time for Pato Award in the points, who's now only 7 behind as of we speak right now. In one more lap, he could go into the points lead.
And in one corner, Pato Award almost went further down in the points with a bold slice up the inside. I thought that was all going to go wrong. He was wise to back out of it, but he was on a charge to the front, and I'm sure the team already is telling him, okay, total
out,
reset
man.
now. The 10 of Palou, the 9 of Scott Dixon, both with big contact. Who knows if Dixon can continue. It's the end of the night, though, for Palou.
The coaching that there's the anger that he said that you haven't seen from him. The pressure of the championship. You saw how mad Palou was there. Pato Award, the coaching from his team
take your time, chill out. We got a long way to go. We're going to get to the end. Now this game has completely changed.
Two of the biggest young stars in Rinus VK Alex Palou out. Team boss Chip Ganassi has lost one, maybe two of his cars, including both of the championship contenders. We didn't see what happened to Dixon. Did Palou hit his teammate? No.
Dixon goes
VK
inside.
did.
VK collected them both. So VK got into the rear of Palou, which turned him down into Dixon. Dixon didn't know what was happening because it was all behind him.
On board with Dixon.
10 car.
Oh,
walloped. Innocent bystander there.
Joseph Newgarden, the two-time winner here, brings the field to green, and he knows that his teammate's looking for a move. Rossi on his teammate, here we go!
Big move down the inside, but Colton hangs tight on the outside, but nice move by Alexander Rossi.
Alexander Rossi, inspired by some of the aggressive driving he's seen so far tonight. That was pretty bold on your teammate, not a lot of room to the pit wall. Meanwhile, further back, Tony Kanaan, Connor Daly, and Grosjean, and that's Simon Pagenaud with a big wiggle. Here's a block from Ericsson down the front straight on Pato O'Ward in that black and orange car.
Tell you what, don't get mixed up and get in an accident, Pato. Just chill out here for a little bit. You're 3 points out of the championship lead right now.
Don't listen to that, Pato. You do you.
There's Dixon's car going behind the wall. Blair Julian, the crew chief, sitting on the side, coordinating that fix. Here comes Rossi. Again.
Wow, that's a strong
Still
move.
up there, even. Clear.
I wonder if Will Power's got a problem. Look at how much ground he's lost. He's going to get passed by Colton Herter right here.
Well,
Look.
he had to check up because of Rossi's move. I don't think Power thought Rossi was going to actually go for it. What was really impressive is it didn't take a slide job from Rossi. His car just hooked up and just railed the inside curve down there in 1 and 2, and now Rossi's caught Newgarden.
He's on the move big time.
Here are the facts. Alexander Rossi, 12 races into this season, hasn't even got a podium. He is going all out.
Joseph Newgarden from the lead comes to pit road. This Team Penske pit crew has been wicked fast all race. It looks like another clean stop for them, Kev.
So Pato O'Ward goes a lap longer than some. We see the race off pit road between teammates, and it looks like Newgarden is going to have that. As Pato O'Ward comes in, he has to swing around, but he's going to have an easy out. As they stand, championship leader, thinking maybe a little bit more. O'Ward and the Arrow McLaren SP team, solid stop for them. There's Will Power. We saw him going side by side with Newgarden, who's on his way out. Newgarden was on his way in. Now we can take a look at the blend. Where does everything come out after all these final stops?
Hey, is this going to be a repeat of Detroit 2 with Newgarden and O'Ward going at it for the win?
Was looking for Alexander Rossi on the blend down.
Oh, get up the track and hit the wall right there. He got up in the gray.
And
on
there's
the cold
Rossi,
tires.
just came off of turn 4, so Newgarden beat him pretty handily on the exchange of the pit stops.
Man, you got to hit your marks, Newgarden. He got high in turn 3 and 4, nearly brushed the wall on the. Oh, and there's, look, Rossi hit the wall on the outlap. You got to be so careful on the cold tires. You get out of that
Hang on.
and it's game over.
So sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. Copy.
We're going to show you what happened.
Here we go. Just look, 4 feet off the apex, and you're a passenger, right?
Yep.
You miss your marks, and you get in those marbles. You're done.
And it was go time. He was trying to close that gap on Newgarden, and O'Ward just pushed a little too much. And 100 laps ago, Lee, no problem whatsoever.
Sure.
But at this point in the race, and you can't see the marbles. We saw the onboard. Rossi, you just don't know it's there until it's too late.
50 laps.
Oh, big start by Pato O'Ward right there. Does he dive it down the inside? Newgarden weaves all the way down the front straightaway like a snake to keep
Look
it.
at Grosjean. Grosjean, understanding what track sweepers can do to clean up the highline diff, he is going for it.
Sure is. He goes around fellow Frenchman, and here comes Sato. Sato in the MyJack entry is still in the mix.
Contact right there. 2 abreast all the way through the corner.
That is Sebastian Bourdais and Takuma Sato.
Bourdais in 5th now. Back on the right strategy. Oh, up in the gray. And he saves it.
Low, inside.
Sato's going to get freight trained here, I would imagine, down the back straightaway as McLaughlin settles into 4th.
Final 2 circuits for Joseph Newgarden. This was the race that he has been waiting a while for. It was the 10th race of the season, Mid-Ohio, that Newgarden won. It was like forever. And off the back of his teammate Will Power winning on the Indianapolis road course, it's going to be a sweet week for the captain.
White flag, but Pato Award.
It's closing down.
That 1 second is now half a second.
It's been that tight before, maybe not 0.4 of a second. That traffic is getting closer, but Joseph Newgarden is in control, and what a race in the Soncio Chevrolet. He worked for it. He made some key moves when he had to, and the 2-time winner here at World Wide Technology Raceway is now a 3-time winner.
Good work there. Good job, fellas. Great drive there, Joseph. Nice work. Good job in the pits. Yeah, excellent work, guys. Number 2 right there.
Here we go.
Didn't look as clean as the last one, but Will Power tries to snake his way up the front straight to fight off Pato Award. He's going to lead 4 wide.
McLaughlin on the inside of Dixon and Kirkwood and Palou.
Great.
And look at Pato Award around the outside for the lead. What a move.
A lot of bravery going on right now on this restart. Award to the front. McLaughlin trying to make those clean new tires work.
I told you, safety third. Go fast, take chances, then be safe. That's what Pato Award wants to do. He's not worried about the championship. He's worried about winning. And look at this traffic jam behind.
Newgarden, Dixon, on board with Connor Daly. Side by side into turn 1.
Kyle Kirkwood outside of Connor Daly there. You saw Scott Dixon trying to work the high side on Joseph Newgarden. Now he's in his wheel tracks. Will he pull out into 3?
Daly trying to move Kirkwood up the track. Meanwhile, Sato looked low, got shut down.
Sato on the new tires. Now he's under threat from behind. Looks like Simon Pagenaud and Meyer Shank Racing Car trying to make that move stick, and I think he's going to get him.
He will. Great move. Simon Pagenaud rounds up Sato. Meanwhile, it's Award, Power, Ericsson. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't look like that on track. Ericsson's a couple of cars back.
Track may be clean, but it looks like a lot of tiptoeing on the high line. Here's Palou and Newgarden. Newgarden having none of it, fires it forward on those fresher tires, and now Newgarden settling in. Newgarden 5th, McLaughlin still 4th.
You're going to tell a guy like Joseph Newgarden at a track like World Wide Technology Raceway he's got better tires and more fuel to burn? Watch out, guys.
The 3-time winner and defending winner, Joseph Newgarden, in that blue and white PPG Chevy. Here we go, Marcus Ericsson defending from Joseph Newgarden. 2 of the championship contenders.
And Newgarden had just got around McLaughlin as well, and now he's going to try to roll it all the way around Devlin DiFrancesco, who's a lap down but keeping up with these top guys.
That is huge for Newgarden to get clear now. So it's just Rosenquist in front of Newgarden. Rosenquist is a lap down. If Newgarden can clear him, he's going to be on fresher tires with the leaders right in his sights.
McLaughlin trying to work his way through. Here goes Newgarden on Rosenquist.
No problem.
This is going to make it a clear 1, 2, 3.
Now, if you're Will Power, teammates to Newgarden or Pato Award, you're going to be looking in your mirrors going, uh-oh.
You're going to be looking out your windscreen pretty soon saying uh-oh, because Joseph Newgarden's not hanging around. He is going right by the number 12 Verizon Chevrolet of Will Power.
That's what new tires, new Firestone tires do. Fresh fuel, fresh tires, here I come.
And at this point, you might hear on the radio, why didn't we pit like these guys?
Man, he looks like he's in a different class.
That's
not even
the pass for the lead. Newgarden to the front, and he should disappear here.
McLaughlin around the outside of Ericsson. The guys who stopped most recently are on rails.
Nice work. Wheel 4, you got it.
That's definitely the most I've seen the Highline work here at Gateway in a long, long time, if ever. But it is great to see this kind of action. Little slide up the racetrack there. But look how quickly, I mean, McLaughlin was ahead of Newgarden at the end of that cycle, but now Newgarden's driven his way all the way to the point. McLaughlin down in 4th.
just incredible stint here from Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah, in just a few laps, Newgarden has completely taken control of this race. Everybody will have to make another stop to go the full 260 laps, and if weather comes, Newgarden's at the front anyway. So that strategy, that call from Tim Cindric, brilliant. Right call, right time.
Here comes Scott McLaughlin. This paints more of the picture.
So Penske split the strategy once. Maybe they're doing it again here, covering with the McLaughlin pit stop, keeping Newgarden out on track. Kevin, Scotty McLaughlin coming to you.
I think Newgarden is going to come the next lap. They've got tires out, but I don't see him. So McLaughlin is going to come in a lap earlier, and Newgarden is also going to hit the pit lane here. So both of the Team Penske cars are going to be out there. Still a little bit split, though, because remember, Power has already made his last stop, so he's going to get back the lap he was at. So it's going to be the blend that is crucial here. And Newgarden has Christian Lundgaard right in front of him. So McLaughlin easily wins that race off. A lap later, there's Newgarden coming in.
Was Newgarden able to go as hard as he wanted
I don't think
on
so.
that entry because of Lundgaard?
I don't think so. This should be really close on the blend between Newgarden and McLaughlin. Meanwhile, Dale Coyne Racing with David Malukas and Takuma Sato stays out. They run 1-2.
This is
there
be
goes
fascinating.
Newgarden. Where's McLaughlin on the front straightaway? There he is.
Finish now.
Red and white car is McLaughlin. He goes through turn 1.
He's going to have it.
It's going to be close.
He's going to have it. I think he's going to have the momentum down into 3.
Could this be it between the bus bros?
Look at that. It could all come down to Joseph Newgarden getting held up by Christian Lundgaard on the decel lane, coming into pit lane. You know how much time you can make up through there, Townsend, and having a car in front of you just handicaps you there. You just handcuffs you. You can't go anywhere.
But a lot of traffic for McLaughlin.
You're the leader.
Takuma Sato has about 50, almost 60 laps on his tires. Sato, I think, just slid a little bit wide coming off a 2. So McLaughlin's going to have to decide now, how much do I want to push to get past Sato?
Was that the winning move with 51 laps to go?
David Malukas is currently leading this race. It's a Dale Coyne Racing 1-2.
And there are only 4 cars on the lead lap. Now 5 as McLaughlin go past Sato.
So it's Team Penske 1-2 with the Odyssey Battery Chevrolet ahead of the PPG Chevrolet. Scott McLaughlin over Joseph Newgarden, and it's a Chevy 1-2-3-4 at the moment with Will Power behind Pato O'Ward.
Guys, I've seen this one before. Late in the race on an oval, Scott McLaughlin leading, Joseph Newgarden following.
Maybe 2022, Texas?
Maybe Texas 2022.
And what was it? It was traffic that held up McLaughlin and allowed Newgarden to go big to the high side.
Be smart here. Get to him.
Now caution is out.
Is that for moisture?
Conditions, the rain has finally arrived. Here on this track at World Wide Technology Raceway. This could be a critical point of the season for one of the Championship 7. Scott McLaughlin brings his field back to green.
A nice jump from Scott McLaughlin early in the restart zone. 3 wide behind. He's going to easily lead into turn 1.
Power around the outside. Look at Will Power in that black and red Verizon Chevy.
David Malukas and Takuma Sato, the Dale Coyne cars on fresh tires with a big move, but it's Newgarden to the front.
Change of the lead at the front between the teammates. The 3-time winner wants this one bad.
Not wasting any time, but now Scott McLaughlin hot on the wheel tracks of Joseph Newgarden. Looks to the inside, not close enough to make it happen this time.
McLaughlin knows what a short track specialist his teammate is, and just to be able to run with him, he said, is pretty cool. He'd like to beat him. This is going to be an arm wrestle for 34 and a half more laps. So with 2.5 laps to go, the fight is on here for second. What's on the line? Well, Joseph Newgarden is looking at a 5th win this season. Malukas is up high. So a 5th win this year for Joseph Newgarden is on offering in just 2 laps' time. For Scott McLaughlin, it's back-to-back podiums. And for David Malukas, it would be his first career podium. What a night here at World Wide Technology Raceway.
You gotta love the rookie. Not happy with just a podium. He knows that this is a rare chance in his young career to get even more.
He was headed for a good result.
Here he comes.
This is the closest he's been.
Got a good run on him.
The white flag.
Let's do it now.
Does
Remember
Malukas
the
go for
outside.
it?
Yes!
It's risky, but he's going to go for it.
You gotta love that. Malukas to second.
Unbelievable move from David Malukas on the last lap to take second from Scott McLaughlin.
Jammed up, coming off of 4. And he's not content with second. He might try and go for the win, but he's out of time. Joseph Newgarden wins back-to-back years at World Wide Technology Raceway. Make that 4 for Newgarden here at this track in the PPG Chevy. Awesome performance. And that's his 5th win on the season.
Great job, guys. Thanks
Actually, make it 3 in a row here.
We've had second pit stops going through the only cars that have not pitted for the second time. Scott Dixon, the leader, Kyle Kirkwood, and then Augustine Canapino back in 5th. So Newgarden is still the effective leader of the race.
Dixon Powers behind him. Powers already pitted, but Dixon went quite long on that first stint as well. So this is not new territory for him.
So I think that's important. If Dixon can go 10 more laps here, he's on a 3-stopper. And if he does that, he's 14 seconds ahead of Newgarden on effectively the same strategy. They would both make 2 more stops. Could we see the Indy GP all over again where Dixon got mad fuel mileage and surprised everybody?
Yes, we could see that again. That's exactly what Scott Dixon does.
Kyle Kirkwood in. So that takes Kirkwood probably out of the 3-stop strategy. Scott Dixon stays out. He's got to hang out for 9 more laps. He's got the reds on too. Georgia, Kirkwood in.
Kirkwood is in. Tires come off. Black tires go back on. He was one of the cars that tested just last week here at World Wide Technology Raceway. They felt like they made major gains. He's back, rejoined the field.
Great. He is one of those that still needs to use the reds, Kirkwood.
Great pass just there. Alex Palou, blue and white car ahead of Colton Herta in that black and yellow Gamebridge car on the outside of 1. That was a great move.
So let's just go back to Dixon real quick for a second, guys. We talk about the fuel mileage he can get.
Yellow down here, yellow turn 2.
And now Scott Dixon, as Sato goes around, has a huge advantage.
That's exactly what Scott Dixon wanted to see. Everybody from 9th back is technically a lap down right now because he has not pit.
Caution number 2 at World Wide Technology Raceway. Pits have just opened. The leader, Scott Dixon, has not made his second stop yet, trying to win for the 2nd race in a row. He is headed down to pit lane. He needed to stop soon. A couple of others did as well. The question will be, did anybody else come? Yes, Joseph Newgarden is also coming 20 laps after he last stopped, Georgia.
Absolutely, and the team asked Joseph before this stop, what do you need? Joseph said, I need a little bit more wing. Those tires came off. The black tires went on. Scott Dixon already in the pits as well. The red tires, the alternate tires, those are off. Black's back on. Dixon is down on pit lane.
I did not see that coming. Newgarden coming in.
Dixon, Newgarden, Award, Rossi, 5th in line, 4th in the race. McLaughlin, who won the pole but had it taken away with an engine penalty, is fast back there in 5th. Here we go again. And Pato Award is trying to go to the outside of Joseph Newgarden. Dixon gets a good start. Newgarden holds up for 2nd. And there's David Malukas in that black and white and red car trying to find some spots.
High side for Scott McLaughlin in the red and white machine, but it was 4 wide before, as we see now.
Oh, they touched!
Going for the lead. Pato Award into 3. Can't make it happen.
Hip check between Award and Newgarden at the battle for 2nd place. That was close. And Award is mad.
I think he's got reason to be. That was a little bit aggressive from the 2. I said going for the lead. Yeah, I'm corrected. Yeah, going for 2nd place there. Scott Dixon kind of running away into the lead now. But that was a close call.
I understand, man. We saw it.
McLaughlin and David Malukas still going at it. Malukas now coming back to the high side. These two might touch.
They battled at the end of the race last year.
Just to say a repeat of a year ago, and like a year ago, the young David Malukas pulls off the outside move on McLaughlin.
His comment after the race last year was, I looked up and there were Penske's and I passed one of them. He just passed another Penske. David Malukas is charging. Dixon is in front by 9 seconds with traffic involved. Kyle Kirkwood is bailed out, one of those. that pitted 5 laps later than Dixon did the last time. And on another strategy, Pato O'Ward leads that. He has no fuel save. He's going to need to stop one more time, and he got around Joseph Newgarden in the last pit exchange.
But he's a lap down to Scott Dixon. Dixon stays out. Now Power bails with 70 to go. That's a Chevy for Will Power, and as James pointed out, the Honda of Scott Dixon getting the mileage, drafting off a Stingray Rob, who's going just perfectly fast enough for Scott to get a great fuel number.
There's only 2 cars left on the strategy. It's Scott Dixon and Romain Grosjean, both Hondas, trying to stretch that fuel to that magic number. What did you say, 199 if they can get to?
195, so 65 laps I think is the range that Scott Dixon can get to. I think he's going to pit in about 3 or 4 more laps here. If he can go farther, he will.
For sure. And now he is in. 65 laps to go. It'll be 64 when he crosses the line. Stingray Rob right in front of him. Hopefully that doesn't slow him up too much getting into his pit box. Everything here is crucial now.
I think Stingray was the perfect draft partner for Scott Dixon, the perfect pace to save the mileage. Georgia, coming to you with 65 to go.
Yeah, this pit stop crucial for Dixon to take him to the end. Tires go off, tires go right back on. They are loading the 9 up with fuel. They asked him if he wanted any changes to stop. He said, we're okay. His last stop, 126. It's now 64 laps to go for Dixon.
Romain Grosjean also in the pits on that strategy, but Dixon had 20-plus seconds on Grosjean. He'll maintain it as you see Grosjean now just coming to his box, Dylan.
Grosjean went 62 on the first stint, so he's going to have to go a little bit longer than that here, but they have been preaching to him for probably the last 10 minutes or so, just save as much as you can, save, save, save. So it's going to be more of a save here for Grosjean on this final stint, but hopefully the final stop for the 28 team as they try and pack it full of fuel.
So he's a lap better than Dixon at this point, but he's not got the track position to Dixon. There's Dixon right over there.
He might lose a lap to Scott Dixon. That's Dixon on the blend out. Dixon just lapped Grosjean.
That will be the leader on this strategy, you and him, because I head out back to the 06.
I don't believe he's lapped him. Would he have lapped him?
Yeah, because
was he that far
Grosjean
ahead?
was 24, 25 seconds back. I believe so. We'll see when they cross start finish. There's Dixon running P11 as they are right now. And yes, Grosjean is a lap down. O'Ward is pushing right now, I think because they've got clean air. They know they're going to have to take advantage of that to cover.
Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing.
I think no was the answer he was looking for on the radio. Am I pushing to the box or what am I doing? But no, he's just trying to knock out some fast laps. Maybe. Where did Newgarden come out? If Newgarden is in clean air, it's bad news for Pato O'Ward. If Newgarden's stuck in traffic, and I believe he is.
Yes, he is.
He is stuck right there behind Devlin DiFrancesco for Andretti Autosport, and he gets way high.
Oh, no!
He's going
in.
No!
Newgarden into the fence.
Is coming to an end. The first driver in 100 years that had a chance to sweep an entire season of oval racing with more than one race will not happen. It ends up in the wall for Joseph Newgarden.
Look at the nice cushion of air Scott Dixon is managing in front of him. He's not pressing too hard, just enough to stay ahead of Rossi so as not to cause any issues. Lap and a half to go. Dixon educating, humbling the field.
Scott Dixon has done it in every way imaginable. Straight up pace, strategy, fuel saving, daring racecraft. Today there's a little bit of everything, but it's one of those that perfectly sums up Scott Dixon. You look up and he's in front and the race is turned upside down. 2 weeks ago the question was whether Dixon could extend his record extending seasons with a win, and he's going to win back-to-back. Scott Dixon has done it again. Dixon wins at World Wide Technology Raceway and keeps his championship hopes for number 7 still alive.
And wait for it. Wait for it. Keep watching your screen here, guys. Second place has not yet crossed the line. 22 seconds. 22 seconds was the margin of victory. He didn't just win it, he absolutely decimated them with that strategy, with that masterful drive. He could have backed off 7/8 of a lap and still finished at the front. What an incredible drive from Scott Dixon. Pato Award second, and then big props to Lil Dave Malukas getting back on the podium 2 years in a row here at Gateways.